Well, hello there. Normally we go right into the. I guess I picked the wrong one today. Well, anyway, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Welcome to this week in UGA football. Appreciate you tuning in. It is your guy coming to you live from the 405, Mr. Fingers, where the wind comes whipping down the plane and tearing a bunch of stuff up in the process. And that guy over there, he is the brother from another, the sexy mother Hubbard, the ace of base in the place in your face. That guy, Colin P from the DMV. Colin, how you doing tonight, my guy?
Oh, dude, man, I'm doing awesome. I had an absolutely great weekend. The folks came up. They were here this weekend, and my buddy Wes, shout out Wes Montgomery, is at the house, and we kind of had a lot of little get together, watch Georgia play, and yeah, it was a strange weekend, like it has been, like most of the past weekends, but kind of what do you want to call it? Frustrating game, but hey, we came out with a dub, man. I can't be more proud. Happy,
Yes,
happy.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got to say it one more time. Yes, sir. Man, that was absolutely nuts. What the hell is my computer doing right now? Like, Apple Music just popped up for some reason. Let's go ahead and close that. We don't want that happening in the middle of the stream. There we go. All righty then. So, anyway, in case you guys missed it, there were a few games on this weekend. Um, there was a game on this weekend. Did you know there was a game on this weekend, Colin? I knew there was a game on this weekend.
Yeah, one that was circled, and one that that a lot of people picked the other crew to win. But things
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, there was a game going on, and there were two teams, and a lot of people said the other team was going to win, and very few people said that this team was going to win. But guess what? Guess what?
Yeah. Yes. What?
Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a
You don't
friend.
think you can?
You know what?
Can you throw that clip up there about what was it? Somebody
Oh, wait
posted
a
the other
minute.
day.
Wait a minute. Hold on. What clip is that you're talking about? I think I have that clip here somewhere. You mean, oh,
We
this
can
one right
add to
here?
it.
We're back. We're back.
It needs to have a Georgia on that.
Oh
Cause we
man,
back.
stop. Look, we're not gonna start. We're not gonna start nothing. Listen, we just having a little
Oh
fun
no.
because it's all in the excitement of. It's all in the excitement of having won a game that a lot of I mean, after the way that we've been playing, a lot of Georgia fans, yours truly included, thought that there was a very realistic possibility that we could walk in there and get embarrassed. Because I mean, you see what happened in
Yeah.
the first half against Alabama. We couldn't
Yeah.
recover against that. We could not shake off Mississippi State. We could not shake off Kentucky. And both of those teams combined, I think, have 4 wins through 8 9 weeks of football. We're in week 9 now.
Yeah.
So
It just took us a minute. It seems like that. We had to get that. That battle tested mentality. I think definitely on the other side of the defensive side of the ball, bro. We kind of think we might have hit the corner, but offense still, we did a lot of good things, but need some work. I think
yeah, we
so.
did. We definitely need some work, man. We need work badly where that's concerned. Where the offense is concerned, there are some things, but we're gonna talk about that later. But anyway, there was a game and it took place in Texas. And the Dogs took on the Longhorns. The number 5 Dogs took on the number 1 Longhorns and walked away with a big fat dub. Georgia walks out of there. Not only did they won in convincing fashion, man.
They did.
I mean, I mean, I was not expecting. I mean, I was expecting the defense to be stout, but that was not Dude, that was the 2021 defense right there.
Absolutely,
That was the
absolutely, and
that was the reincarnation of Keeley and N'Kobe and Nolan and Big Baby and Jalen Carter. That was absolutely insane football. I have not
And
seen.
you know what? That was a testament to Malachi because I mean we heard from him last week that he was going to get he's one of our leaders seems to be stepped up, and he said he's going to make sure the secondary is on their on the toes and not on the heels. So I mean it seems to be he did his did his thing, had them boys rocking and rolling, and the defensive line, bro. I mean like they were hunting, they were definitely hunting.
Oh, dude, they hunted. That's all they did was hunt. They were looking for. Have you ever seen? It was like N'Kobe. You know how N'Kobe would just kind of be in the back, and he would just be looking for somebody's head to knock off.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely,
N'Kobe did not.
absolutely.
N'Kobe did not play, and we're gonna get into that too. We're gonna get into that too. We're gonna get some game balls and gashes. But first, I want you, sir. I'm gonna hand this to you, and I'm gonna let you just kind of give me your brief initial thoughts on how you thought the game was gonna go before you saw it.
Oh man, I mean I thought we were going to win, but I thought it was going to be more of a like you said, like more of a tight game. Because I mean, I was after the games before, like the previous games, you didn't know what would show up. It seemed like we were kind of all over the board, in my opinion. Like what I saw, I was like, there was no consistency either side of the ball. But I didn't think it was going to be 30-15 victory. We were going to win that by that big a margin. But yeah, it was like I said, it was frustrating because then Carson having 3 picks, but our defensive. See, that's what I'm kind of that's reminiscent of the 22 and 21 Dogs. If offense is not clicking, then the defense steps up. But the defense, always pretty much stepped up. But they had that kind of cushion. So now the offense wasn't doing that great, but the defense was doing absolutely fantastic. So that gave the offense a little bit of a cushion. So that's we always said if we can just stop their team scoring. If our offense aren't doing that great, as long as we can keep them from scoring and getting our defense off the field, we had a chance. But I didn't expect to go this way. That's what I'm saying.
Man, you said a whole mouthful because I was nervous coming into this game, and I'm sorry. I'm looking for something because I wanna add it to the I want to add it to the stream here, but apparently it does not want to go. So anyway, that is what that is. Um, I was looking for I was looking for it to be a tight game. I thought it was going to be a down to the wire game. I didn't think we were going to come out and be like, "Hey Texas, pow, take that," and while you at it, pow, take that with you. There's the two piece. Just to buy one get one free special. We got two pieces. Got two pieces for you all day. That was the absolute last thing that I expected coming into this
Did
game.
you really think it was going to be? Did you think it was going to be like a shootout type game? I kind of did myself since we were playing the long ball and we were passing a lot. That kind of threw a wrench into things when we started running the rock. ETN finally got some space. But I thought it was just going to be airmailing, all game. That's what I thought. Since you got yours, and I was surprised that it brought in Arch, but those are typically passing quarterbacks.
Yeah, yeah, I did. I mean, honestly, I did. I thought that there was going to be a lot of back and forth. I thought it was going to be a tight game. I thought Texas was going to come out and pop us in the mouth, and they were gonna come out and score quick, and we were gonna struggle to get down the field. Maybe kick a field goal. I thought maybe we would shut them down second drive and then get a touchdown to kind of get the go ahead touchdown, and then it would just be a bunch of back and forth.
Yeah,
For the
didn't make necessarily didn't see us pitching a shutout the first half. I was happily surprised.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane. They had what was like 38 total yards the entire game coming into the second half.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, I mean, well, you know what? I don't know why I'm surprised. Because let's just take a quick look at. Yeah, Texas is the number one team in the country, right? Up until this weekend.
Yeah,
But let's look at what Texas had to face before they played Georgia, shall we?
that's a good point. Yep.
On Saturday, August 31st, they played Colorado State. Okay. Colorado State is in the Mountain West. They're not a bad team. They're 4-3 but they're 4-3 in the Mountain West. The following weekend, they played Michigan. We know what Michigan has turned out to be this season. Then
Right.
they played the University of Tennessee, San Antonio, a team that is
Yeah.
3-4 in the American Conference. Okay.
Right.
Then they turned around and played UL Monroe, then
Mm.
Mississippi State, and then Oklahoma. Their biggest offensive output was against UTSA. Their biggest
Okay.
offensive output, their biggest offensive output. They scored 56 points. Now, in terms of numbers, numbers weren't necessarily well. I take that back because Wingo did have 127 yards. Manning threw for 223, and Gibson ran for 75. But just in terms of now, Manning had his best game against Mississippi State, but total
Right.
overall offensive output, they had their biggest offensive output against. Looks like against Mississippi State overall. Now, then they played Oklahoma, and we know that Oklahoma basically is what it is.
Right.
So that's who they played. They hadn't played anybody that was going to step up and challenge. I mean, you really think that UL Monroe was going to challenge them? You really think that depleted Michigan team? I mean, Michigan lost the head coach, several coaching staff members, and gobs of the national championship team to the draft.
Yeah.
Michigan wasn't going to challenge them. So now you're facing your first real challenge. And sometimes it takes facing that first real challenge.
Yeah. And that's what surprised me about the line and the whole new sheriff in time type mentality. You know, I mean, I wasn't necessarily mad at it. I wasn't mad that we were a dog. It was surprising. You know, I mean, I know we were at their house, but at the same point, to your point, who have they actually played of a caliber? We know that what we're capable of. You know, most everybody knows what Georgia is capable of. That hasn't really necessarily shown it to capacity, but still, that was what surprised me. But yeah, so, I mean, they would do something. And I was like, no. I mean, I know what I know, and when we turn it on.
And I think it's a thing about learning to temper expectations. Like at this point, knowing that Georgia this season has been a much stronger second half team.
Right.
Yeah, Kev, you did. I'm gonna say, but shouts out to our boy Kev Murrow. Yeah, you did, bro.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did.
You did. I think he said it was gonna be a blowout too, and I was like, I don't know. But knowing that Georgia has been a stronger second half team this season, knowing that the defense has been good, but not to the caliber of a couple of years ago, and knowing that Beck has had his struggles, I was expecting a much closer contest. So it is very safe to say that the defense definitely saved our bacon. Definitely saved our bacon this past weekend. So 100%, 182%. But the Dogs come out with that win. They came out hard. I mean, they were, I think, up until at one point. Let me go ahead and pull up the box score here and the stats. So we're looking at the stats here while we're pulling this up. Those of you that are just joining us, we appreciate you for tuning in tonight to This Week in UGA Football. Mr. Fingers here, Colin P. from the DMV there. We're here, y'all, and we're celebrating. We're celebrating them Dogs. How about them Dogs? Third down efficiency, a big thing for Texas. 2 of 15.
Whoa.
1 of 5 on fourth down.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks volumes.
For sure. Yep. Absolutely.
So for sure. And that's the biggest thing. Sorry that I gotta send messages to the missus because we got some fiddles coming. I can't eat them while I'm on the air, but we got some food coming. So I won't do that to Colin. I won't do that. I'm not gonna eat while we're on the air. But I just want to let the missus know that the food is coming. So she can grab it when it gets here. Dude, that says it all. Now Carson did throw 3 interceptions, but guess what? We got one of our own, and we also had we recovered 3 fumbles.
Yep.
I mean, other than that, when you look at it, the numbers don't stand out quite so much. The biggest difference is they had about 60 more yards passing, but yards per pass and rushing attempts and oh yeah, well, I take that back. Let me back up because they only had 29 yards rushing.
Yeah. Well, that's absolutely.
But the biggest thing is how good was it to see Georgia run the rock?
Yeah, and that's what we were kind of talking about off camera. Is like they just kept feeding ETN, He got space, and he finally got some running room, and he made the most of it. And it kind of looked like he was running harder. Not to say he hadn't been running hard all year, but I think he ran like he had something to prove this time. It looked like to me. Man, he was running like a bowling ball. He was bowling folks over. And
Yeah, it was.
he had 19 carries for 87 yards. And 3 touchdowns. That's got to be a confidence builder for him. So I mean, we got this week off, and he's going to probably be stoked on come Florida time. But yeah, that's the game that we've been needing, and from him, in that respect. So I think that'll fire him up.
Dude, hey,
I was just waiting on it, right? Everybody,
and our boy Delp caught a couple of passes. He was our leading receiver for the first time this season. Now, granted, he only caught 2 receptions for
43
yards.
long.
And a 43 yarder at that, but he was our leading receiver. He was our leading receiver, and that was good to see. Now, on to that end, I know that Carson had his share of troubles with the pickles, but he also had some dimes. He hit London Humphreys right in the hands. It was easily going to be 20, 30 yards worth of ground made, and he dropped it. He dropped it, and we saw that quite a bit. So, it's not some of the faults that we've seen. We've at least gotten to the point where they're using the run to set up the pass as opposed to pass, and then we're just going to run it down your throat when the game's over. They're back to that formula that worked. Use the run to set up the pass. Use the run to set up the pass. Use the run to set up the pass.
Yep,
and that is
use the run to set the pass. I think we were doing the opposite though. We were running the pass instead of the run, and that wasn't working. So I think they kind of flipped it. They kind of looked at they flipped the formula.
But I don't understand. I don't understand the change other than the fact that now we have a new offensive coordinator. Why the changes? What's the deal with what is it with Bobo wanting to make every? That's a big thing for me. What is it with Bobo? Wanting to, you know what? I just put a finger on it. Bobo was a quarterback, was he not?
Yeah, he was.
Bingo. Bobo wants the quarterback to shine because that was his position.
But I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more there, or a little bit more on that, because speaking with Sean, the Godfather. Speaking with Sean, I think he has a good point with saying that maybe we were possibly playing to Beck's strengths. And that's kind of a good point. But my point was like, what happens when that peters out? I mean, like, what happens when, the passing game doesn't work? You know what I'm saying? And this is probably why maybe, try something different, but I mean, this is a case where I don't mind trying something. If it's not, run up the middle, maybe run around the side, try something that works. I mean,
like Kevin Hart, not Kevin Hart, like Cat Williams said, when you're trying stuff, don't work. You're trying stuff, don't work. You're trying stuff and trying to switch it up, man. Trying stuff. Got to do something different. And at the end of the day, that's what they did. They switched the formula. I think.
Yeah.
You know what though? Remember I said last week maybe Kirby's playing rope-a-dope.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, you never can tell about him though. You know that. I mean, he keeps everything close to the vest, and it's. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. It may be maybe bits and pieces of it, but I mean, honestly, if you kind of look at him, you could tell he was kind of frustrated. I think this game right here gave him a lot of stress relief after winning. Because I mean, you could kind of tell the games before this one, and he was kind of frustrated with all the off-field stuff and the on-field stuff. We weren't clicking. We weren't doing what Georgia things. You know what I mean? But be that as it may.
off the field stuff, like Holland, whatever in the world could you mean by off the field stuff? I mean, you couldn't seriously be suggesting that there was anything that to get affected the game at all in any shape, form, or fashion, would you?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm just saying. And he was hot, boy. I mean, I loved it. He looked like he was ready to. That's why I love Kirby, man. He doesn't, I mean, necessarily wear his emotions. Well, he does wear his emotions on his sleeve. And he is awesome. Love it. Doesn't
Yeah,
miss
he
work
is.
either.
Man, I'm tell you what. When Kirby was. I have never seen it. I take that back. I probably have, but I haven't seen it in a while. Kirby was
Yeah.
in that referee's face with that finger.
Yeah.
With the finger, and
Just make the bleeping call. Just make the bleeping call.
yeah, right. Like, and then it wasn't even a reviewable call. Now,
No.
Colin and I talked about this before the show. Said probably what happened is the referees got together and said, "Look, there's no way they're winning this game, but but if we don't turn this call over, we won't be able to finish this game. So let's go ahead and reverse the call and get the game going, so the people will stop throwing stuff on the field."
I mean, that turned out to be. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done. I was just gonna say some more stuff, but it's all right. It wasn't nothing pressing.
No, it was just saying, like, at what cost to the student section? I mean, like, we talked about them reviewing camera footage and the CCTV, and they getting everybody to throw a bottle or can or whatever, what have you, and they sending them text messages and revoking their big ticket for the 24-25 season, and they're going through the camera footage. It seems like, and then they got got popped with a $250,000 fine, and who knows? Not to say we haven't done it before. It's been a while since the Georgia Georgia fans have done some stupid stuff like that, but
Yeah.
But wasn't happy hour at 9:30 a.m. I think didn't somebody says didn't all right. I didn't know McConaughey say get good and lubricated before they come to the game. That's what he said.
Oh well, sometimes you just have got to be careful about the chicken strips. Yeah. That's the
And did
thing
you
I like
catch?
about. That's the thing I like about football. It's great. I'm riding this Lincoln Mercury through Texas Stadium right now. Are we gonna win this game? All right.
Yeah,
That's a really bad McConaughey, but that's about the best I can do. What you guys would say?
That was pretty good. But no, Kirby when he was talking after the game, he did that. They tried to and he came back to the mic. He said, "Go Dogs, go Dogs, go Dogs." There was a subtle jab at McConaughey.
Oh, you mean I don't know if this will play or not.
That was pretty fun.
Nah, it won't play on the stream unless
Well,
I put it up.
What about the pulling of viewers and putting in an arch? I mean, do you think that? I mean, what do you think their thinking process was?
I think the thought process was that they needed to go with the mobile quarterback because he was trying to kind of maybe throw the defense off because the defense had pretty much figured out that Ewers is not a mobile quarterback. He's going to stand in the pocket. He doesn't scramble very well. He thought he put Arch in and see if Arch could scramble his way out of trouble, and he did. The first couple of plays, he did the first couple of plays, but then the guys locked in and they got a hold of him too, and he said, "Oh hell, I better sit Arch down. I better sit Arch down because if I mess around, if I'm the coach, nobody wants to be the coach that ruined Arch Manning having a chance at an NFL career." So,
that's for sure. That's for sure. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, you're absolutely right. They didn't want to talk to Big Arch. They thought, "Big, what'd you do to my boy?"
100%. So I have a question. I have a question for those of the Texas fans that are watching this. Does this still apply?
We're back.
I want to know. I want to know because I don't think we played them since that game. That was what 2018.
Yeah, we
That was
lost in bowl game. I think.
Peach Bowl 2018 or 20.
Yeah,
The Peach Bowl played. The Peach Bowl is a New Year's Six Bowl, right? So it's on New Year's Day.
I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's a New
but
Year's Six Bowl.
that wasn't Kirby, was it? Was Kirby coaching it? I
Yeah,
don't think so.
yeah,
Was it?
yeah.
Okay. Brain's going blank on that one because I couldn't remember what game that was.
Because Kirby took over. Kirby took over coaching before we moved out here, and we've been
That
out
was
here 6 years. 16,
2016.
yeah, that's 16. That Peach Bowl, that was Sam Ellinger's senior season, I think, or junior season going into his senior season. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I can't remember what year it was. Where is Sam? I wonder what Sam's doing these days. And we'll look into that a little bit later. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just joining, please feel free to drop us a note in the chat. Let us know you're here. We appreciate you stopping through. We are going to take a very, very, very brief pause for the cause, and we will be right back. Don't go far this week in UGA football. Coming right back at you. And we're back. We appreciate you guys hanging around, sticking around. We're talking about the Dawgs whooping up on those Longhorns this past weekend. It was a joy to see. So I have a question now. With some of these losses going around and things like that, and the guys that were being touted for the Heisman, do you think that the Heisman field got smaller? Because they were talking about Quinn Ewers as a potential Heisman candidate. They noted at the beginning of the season that Carson Beck was pretty much the favorite. And then you had some people come out of nowhere. Ashton Genty out of Boise State, who could potentially be breaking. For those of you that do not know, the kid potentially could break Barry Sanders' all-time rush record for the season rushing and touchdown scored for a season. He's an absolute beast. They're also talking about Shador out in Colorado. They're talking about Travis Hunter out in Colorado. They're talking about Cam Ward in Miami. I think it's safe to say that Nico is out of the conversation. I think it's safe to say that Carson is out of the conversation. But you think it got any smaller? You think that hurt? It hurt.
Yeah, no.
Quinn Ewers' chances of potentially being in the conversation, even in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I posted something in our little chat there about it was down to 3, like what they're looking at. The Heisman Trophy would be one of the 3. This is what Vegas or whatever. Cam Ward's one of them. He's at a plus 230, and Ashton Genty is 230, and Dylan Gabriel, and they're not really giving.
Oh yeah, Dylan. Oh God, that kid's balling, man.
Yeah, so that's the 3 they're looking at. And like I said, Garrett Newsmeyer, he LSU, he's at plus 3,000. So, and Beck's at Beck is at plus 2,400, and Klubnik is at 2,000. So you got those main top 3 at the triple digits of plus 230, plus 230, and plus 350 at Gabriel. So yeah, I mean the field's significantly smaller. But
Dylan
yeah,
Gabriel right now, OU fans are looking at Dylan Gabriel balling out in Oregon and going, "We let him get away."
Yeah,
we kept him for the other Jackson Arnold.
yeah. I mean, look at Oregon though. I mean, God, they're gonna be they are just pounding. I think we're going to show.
You know what though? Lanning is definitely. I said it before. I'll say it again. He's building something out there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Same thing. He's building something out there.
Yeah. So, as soon as he got there, dude, I mean, like it was just. I knew it was a matter of time, and it wouldn't be that long, before he had everybody rolling.
Yeah. So, yep. God, he's been there. What? This is his third season.
I believe it's the third season, yeah. Because
Third or
we played him in his first season. We played him as our first game because that's going to be a test for us. What was it?
yeah,
Last year?
year before, I believe. Year before, I believe. So let's go ahead and take a look around the SEC and see what's going on there. There was a whole lot of action in the SEC. Some of it went exactly as we predicted. Some of it did not. For example, our
Yeah.
our old friends, the Corn Dogs, traveled down to Arkansas, and they walked out with a 24-point victory. Um, Actually, Nussmeier was not the leading passer. It was Green from Arkansas with 239 and a touchdown.
Right.
Durham was the leading receiver with 101, and I'm sorry, leading running back. And Armstrong from Arkansas had 94 yards and 94 yards on 7 catches and a TD. Actually, Durham ran for 3 touchdowns. My God, that boy put some work in. So Nussmeier really didn't have to do a whole lot. Now, when you got a kid running for 100 yards on 21 carries, that's like every 2 touches is a first down, basically. So
Yeah. Yep.
LSU continues to be unbeaten. Arkansas falls to 4-3. Now have 2 conference losses in the SEC, which is still not. Doesn't mean they're eliminated, but they got a tie. They got a. It would be a crazy tiebreaker some kind of way for them to be able to get in. Let's see what else happened. A&M beat Mississippi State, but Mississippi State, just like they did us, they hung on Texas A&M's butt the entire game. They just, for the lack of a couple of field goals, this would have been an entirely different game. But still, Mississippi State logging the loss. Van Buren having another ball out game, 242, 3 touchdowns, 242 and 3 touches. So I don't know what to say, man. Mississippi State is one of the best 1-win teams.
Yeah.
In football. Like, they're giving everybody grief every week, but they just can't get over that hump. Meanwhile, A&M also undefeated in the conference play, 6-1 with an unblemished SEC record. Missouri at Auburn. Did you happen to catch that game at all?
Not really. I mean, I kind of picked bits and pieces of it.
So, your boy Brady Cook gets hurt.
Okay.
They put him in a bus. They take him, not bus, the ambulance. I watched too much SVU.
Oh,
They put him in an ambulance and take him away from the stadium. Next thing we know, he comes running back in the stadium, finishes the game, leads Missouri to a 21-17 win over Auburn.
Wow. What was wrong with him? And what was the
I have not dug that deep to find out. I was watching pieces of the game Saturday, Friday, Saturday night, whenever it was. And he left and apparently wound up coming back.
Wow.
Yeah. So poor Auburn, winless in the SEC, now at 2-5. Missouri now 6-1 to 2-1 in the SEC. So
it's still in the conversation, don't you think? I mean, Missouri's still in the conversation. I mean, even one loss, 6-1. I mean, they're the same boat we are.
So, that's not this. I gotta tell you, it's not the same Missouri that we played in years past.
Not at all. I agree with
that. When Kirby took over, Missouri was a thorn in our side then. That was during the Drew Lock era. They were a thorn in our side then. They were just, I mean, we always wound up beating them, but man, it was just like getting rid of a pesky little sibling. And now these guys have stepped their game up. So that we got to see what they bring into the table, but they're doing the doggone thing.
Oh, they are. Absolutely.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Auburn will probably be looking for a new coach again very soon,
and still paying the last 2 coaches.
And still paying the last.
Paying this one too.
It might as well go ahead and just strap in. What do you think? I mean, you think the Iron Bowl is even going to be worth anything this season?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it possibly the way Alabama's going. I don't know.
You know what? You raise a good point. You raise a very good point. which I'm going to get to them in a minute. So those of you that happen to be Tide fans that are watching this after the fact, because I don't think I have any Tide. I don't think we have any Tide fans that actually watch the show. Hang on. We go get to you. South Carolina, the big shocker this weekend. Well, actually, the second biggest shocker this weekend. South Carolina comes here to Norman and mollywops Oklahoma.
I mean,
what you got?
Did you think that was a shocker though?
Dude, I was not. I mean, Oklahoma has not been good, but I was expecting South Carolina to come up here and do that. I mean, dude, they jumped out to a 21-0 lead in the first quarter.
Yeah, no. And they evidently got a safety, and they got a safety in the second quarter, whatever. They got 21 in the first quarter, 11 in the second quarter. But wow. Yeah, I called a little bit of this game to it.
Wow, indeed. Is that anything that you would expect from a South Carolina team coached by anybody other than Spurrier?
Bro, look at the box. Look at the box stats. Look at the stats there. Like if you look at South Carolina stats, you don't see this score. You don't see this. Like I mean, you got Sellers of 175 yards. They had three quarterbacks playing this game. Only one snap though. They had Lenore Sellers at 16 to 24, 175, one touchdown, and then their leading rusher Sanders 15 carries for 33 yards. So anything you see on this, I mean, it doesn't dictate what the score was. I mean, even Joshua Simon for receiving 4 receptions for 43 yards. So I mean, like there wasn't a whole lot of yards in this game for offensive position, particularly. You know what I mean? It doesn't really. Yeah. 35 points. I mean, how many turnovers were in this game though? I mean, no, there you go. If you go down to fumbles, yes, sir. Never mind.
Yeah. So then moving on, in another shocker, Florida scored 48 points.
Ooh, yeah, that would be a shocker.
It beat Kentucky. Kentucky is to use a phrase, Kentucky's down bad this year. Kentucky was generally good for at least 6 or 7 wins a year. They're down real bad this year. 3-4, 1-4 in conference play. The folks love Coach Stoops down there, but that love only goes so far. I mean, he's got to start showing some results, or he's not going to have a job, I think. Meanwhile, Florida, these guys are playing like they have a winning record. They're actually playing like they want to see Sunbelt Billy hang around a little bit longer. You think?
Yeah, it does looks like that. I mean, they got nothing to lose. I mean, like they've got absolutely nothing to lose. Might as well ball out while you can. That's what they did this weekend. But I mean, what do you think? Not buyer's remorse, but the opposite. But Vandegrift, I mean, are you thinking he's thinking he should have stayed, or do you think he's happy with his move?
His stock.
I mean, he's getting playing time.
Yeah, he's getting playing time, but he's not looking good in the playing time. His stock, his draft stock was hurt more by going to Kentucky and playing as he has been playing. And I know some folks will say, well, why would you just stay and ride the bench? Look, man.
Well, yeah.
I get it. You want to get some playing time, but Kentucky, of all the schools to go to, then it's the question, because we don't know. Did he try shopping himself around other places and nobody picked him up, and so he went to Kentucky? Or he just went to Kentucky, was the only one that called, or Kentucky made the best NIL offer?
I was going to say probably riding NIL, maybe that played a part in it, riding that NIL money. So,
yeah, I mean, because his draft stock is definitely hurt. This is last year of eligibility, isn't it? I believe this is last year of eligibility, huh?
I believe so. Yeah, I think you're right.
This is last year of eligibility, and there's 7 games in this season. He's got 5 games to put together some serious football. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, I don't even know if he passed over 200 yards or not. I mean, he might, like, if he did, it's not too much over 200 yards. But every stat line I've seen, I remember. I mean, every stat line I've seen, to my knowledge, I think he had never had over 200 yards passing. And that was a good game, though.
Yeah, we might have to deep dive into that afterwards. Let's see here. Then, of course, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt continues to roll now, 5-2, and undefeated in conference play. You realize what this means? You realize what this means, sir? Hold on. You realize what this means? I'm gonna give him some love. I just got to get the sound effect together. There we go.
Absolutely.
Vanderbilt doing big things this season. Vanderbilt is 5-2 and undefeated in conference play. You realize what this means?
What's that? Lay it on me.
LSU and Texas A&M are playing this coming weekend.
Uh-huh.
One of them has to lose.
That's true. You know who Vanderbilt's playing?
Lord, I haven't even checked to see who Vanderbilt is playing.
Who did we play last weekend?
Oh, Vanderbilt's playing Texas next week.
Yes,
no, I'm sorry. That must be wrong. I don't know where that graphic came from because this one has Vanderbilt at 5-2 and 2-1. The other page has Vanderbilt as undefeated in the SEC. That's not right.
Okay. No, this is 5-2 and 4-1. Or 4-0. Sorry. Yeah.
5-2 and 4-0. This says 5-2 and 2-1. Something's not right here. Somebody at ESPN is going to lose a job.
Anyway. Well, no, they said Vandy lost to Missouri.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, 30-27. Remember, they almost won it. Remember?
Well, that being the case, we could throw that scenario out the window. But had they been undefeated, that meant that if they were to beat Texas this weekend coming, they would be in a two-way tie with the winner of the LSU A&M game for first place in the conference.
Yeah,
man.
Buddy.
Did you ever think you would live to see the point where Vanderbilt could be contending for top of the hill in the conference? That's amazing. That is amazing. And I'm not trying to dog them. I'm just based on
they've always been close.
Based on the quality of football that they played in our lifetimes. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, they've always been close, man. I mean, they've been knocking on the door.
Yeah, and Clark Lee's had them getting closer and closer every go around. Hey, but shouts out for real to Vanderbilt for real. I know we clown them. But proud as hell of them for getting that come up, man. And that's real talk. That's real talk from.
Hey, they got Texas. And they got Texas at Vanderbilt.
At Vanderbilt.
Yeah, man. So that's gonna be interesting. I hope they do.
I think they're going to send out a mass text. The entire computer science department is going to be out there screaming their heads off. Did you laugh? You laugh, bro. But you know Vanderbilt is an academic school.
Yes, sir.
When they won that game, when they beat who was that they beat at home a couple of weeks ago, and the students rushed the field and they didn't even fill up the red zone. Like all the students that were at the game rushed the field and they didn't fill up the red zone. And I'm not trying to be mean or make fun, but that's just it's not. With
the bottles on the field and all that kind of. That might be Texas in the next couple games. They might not have anybody.
Start that foolishness, sir. Don't you start that foolishness. And that right there. Hey, listen, that's the perfect segue right there into the game that I wanted to dig into before we move another further.
What did he say?
That wasn't the one. That wasn't the one.
Bama does what Bama do.
Yeah, Bama does what Bama do. Yep, the two of them met up. In Tennessee in Neyland Stadium. Is all creamsicles all the way around. The stadium looked like one giant creamsicle, like it doesn't ever look like a giant creamsicle. Tennessee winds up victorious. Nico Malava does not look that great, but he does enough to get it done. Alabama. What's going on in Alabama, man? That's the question. That's the big question. What's going on in Alabama? You got players telling coaches they're not coming off the field and throwing absolute fits and tantrums on the field when they're losing. Like what is going on? I know people are tired of the rhetoric of that would not have happened in Nick Saban's era. But maybe Nick said he was seeing the writing on the wall. He didn't like the direction the football was going. So he might have been suffering this same problem if he had been there.
Well, I mean, it goes to the point where you like the NIL, may have changed. We were talking about this all along, and like the NIL money and all that cash being thrown at these players may have changed may have affected their attitude and that kind of stuff. And that might be what's going on in Alabama. I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying it could be potentially what it is. Because I mean, you have these other players maybe threatening or whatever to sit out the rest of the red shirting. All this kind of stuff that's coming about that red shirting and transferring and all, with no kind of repercussions or anything like that. It seems, but yeah, I mean. Did you see where the two receivers, whenever they were running the ball, they jumped back and did the jump shot, did the Kobe, and I was like, and then I guess Dewar was asked, was that part of the play or was that a design play? He said, we don't do anything on the field that's not a play call or something like that. But that looked very, I mean, I don't know if it was kind of a situation where they were trying to distract the defense or whatever. I don't know, maybe, but
maybe.
It just looks peculiar. It doesn't look like the Alabama of old. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I realize they have a new coach and different things like that, but I mean, I kind of agree with some of the players. Like this would never happen in the saving error. Some of the things, but I mean, it's growing pains. It's definitely growing pains. First year,
Yeah, so. Well put. That's a good take right there. That does it for Around the SEC. We're gonna take another short break, courtesy of one of our fellow shows within the network, and then we will be right back to discuss the dog of the week. Y'all hang tight.
Crespo is going to be hosting for Let's Talk Football the Round Table. And Let's Talk Football ladies.
Shout out to Let's Talk Football. That is Delilah Crespo, member of the Let's Talk Football family of shows. You can see her on Tuesdays on Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable. She also has a couple of segments, Diversity with Delilah this week in NFL history. And she's also part of the panel on Let's Talk Football, the Ladies Takeover, which comes on Thursdays. Definitely a show worth checking out. Well, we're back, bro. We back, and we want to talk about this week's dog of the week. And for Colin and I, it's basically unanimous. I think it is unanimous, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, man,
okay.
right here. It's on most things.
Yeah. So our dog of the week this week is none other than Mr. Jalen Walker. Jalen Walker was an absolute monster. He had 8 tackles. He had 3 sacks. And he had 4 quarterback hurries. I mean, every time you turned around, PA announcer was calling his name. It was almost like he knew the snap count. It was insane. He spent more time in the backfield than the quarterbacks did, to be completely honest.
Don't forget he had one fumble recovery.
And he had a fumble recovery. He also was named this morning. He was named the SEC co-defensive player of the week. Insane. He's the first player in 20 years in the SEC to notch those numbers. At least 8 tackles and such in a game. So shouts out to our guy, Jalen Walker. Congratulations, sir. You, sir, are our dog of the week. Well, Colin, it's that most wonderful time of the year again. The dogs are off for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And when the dogs are off for a couple of weeks in October, that can only mean one thing. It's time. We're getting ready to take on those Gators. Man, the much maligned Florida Gators, led by Billy Napier, who are actually making a decent show of it this season with a 4-3 record, their SEC conference record. And it leaves a little bit to be desired, but they're starting to show a little spunk in the back end of the season. And that is something I think that Kirby is going to have to he's going to really have to imprint upon these guys. You cannot take these guys for granted. I know we had a big win. We need to refocus because these guys are coming in. They've got nothing to lose. At the end of the year, their coach is probably gone, and most of the rest of them are probably going to transfer out. They've got nothing to lose, and it would be absolutely amazing on their end if they can let their last season together as a team as they are right now to take out the same team that just beat Texas. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean you made a great point. I mean, he's got to reel these guys in and say, "Look, we had a great game. Well, I mean, we came out with a great win against Texas. A lot of things were good. A lot of things were clicking. A lot of mistakes that need to be looked at. But it's kind of like not overlooking, say like a Vanderbilt or a Miss State or something like that, because there will always be it's SEC, dude. I mean, like it could be look at Florida this past weekend. And maybe they do have maybe something about Billy has instilled something in them to finish out the season. Just to light a fire in them, and maybe he's resonated with them and said, hey, maybe they're playing for him. But yeah, we definitely don't need to get complacent. I don't think we've done it that much in the past. I mean, in the past couple of years, but I mean, it's always what do you call it? The brat poison. You want to call it? Want to call it? Go for Saint Nick poison, that kind of stuff. So. They got us at 79.2% winning, 20.8 Florida. I don't think they don't have a line out quite yet. I don't think, but yeah, they don't. 3 p.m. on November 2nd is what I got, brother.
Yeah, I at 3:30 p.m. on November 2nd as well. And actually, wow, they pulled off one against UCF. Okay, I expected them to beat Mississippi State, Sanford. So they've beaten everybody that I expected they had a shot at winning. So realistically speaking, what kind of shot do you think they have at coming out with the defense? If the defense playing like it's been playing, you really think they got a shot at it?
You think our defense or their defense?
Florida.
Oh, Florida's defense. Nah, I mean, dude, I can't really say with much I don't know, because I mean the way that Carson, Carson. Bottom line is Carson and the receiving core got to get on the same page. We've got a lot of drops and a lot of picks. So I mean, it's just there's something going on, and they got to get in the on the field and practice field and work that stuff out. Because I mean that's easy to pinpoint. I mean, if you and I can pinpoint it, it should be an easy problem to see and easy to, and hopefully easy to
play. One would think, but watching the game, they brought up a very interesting statistic, and it was actually an alarming statistic for someone who's a fan of the team. At this point in the season, Carson Beck has thrown more interceptions with 4 or 5 games left than he threw all of last season.
Yep.
I mean, he's averaging at least two a game.
Take into account his pass attempts. He's had over like the last couple of games. He's had over 40 to 50 pass.
Yeah, but attempts. You can't. That's the thing. That's why you got to use the run to set up the pass. You throw the ball that many times. You throw the ball that many times. You're bound to throw picks. But the problem is, here's the thing again. That generally doesn't start happening until the back end of the game because you've been throwing it a bunch. Now they've drawn a beat on you. Now they see, okay, when this guy's here and this guy's here, that guy's going 3 and up, that guy's going 3 and this way he's going to cut. I'm going to come in from the flat and just boop, and gone. You know what I mean? Can I get a mid pick 6? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
And he seems to be staring down the receivers a lot of time too, which I don't understand that. Like, I mean, you could tell that and they're getting the beat on him, and I mean, they're even last game against Texas. I mean, there was some jump ball tip drill, that kind of stuff. I mean, they could have had some, and we could have had some, ourselves. But he got lucky several times. That it could have been more than 3.
Oh yeah, 100%, my friend, 100%.
But yeah, that whole thing that bothers me. I mean, I don't know what it kind of reminds me of Fromm, like that year, Fromm's year after the Rose Bowl. It seemed like he and the receivers could not
regression,
get
man. Regression.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The regression was insane, dude. It was like Fromm had.
They couldn't get on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it anyway.
Well, I mean, I still think we come away with a win. I just want it to be a good win and not a sloppy win. That's all I got.
But I think them Dogs, if them Dogs is hell, to say the least, if they're on defense and they do what they did against Texas, if they do that, it's going to be ugly.
Oh my God, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. Lagway is a good quarterback. Is a good quarterback on a not so great squad. I don't want to see his career ruined
No,
I don't
not at
want to
all.
see his career ruined, especially not by that guy right there. But
I don't see the offensive line stopping our defense if they start, moving and shaking like they've been doing.
Yeah. So I think we're in agreement. We say we think the Dogs are going to come through and win on that one. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it comes a part of the show. We have had a great show. We're wrapping it up now. We do appreciate those of you that tuned in and communicated on the chat and in the comments. We do appreciate that. We know there's a couple of NFL games tonight, so a lot of you are probably catching the replay. We appreciate you catching the replay. Final thoughts. I'm gonna let you go ahead and go first, sir.
Final thoughts about what? Anything?
Just final thoughts. You know what?
Give me a subject.
Give you a subject. What do you think about? I watched a little bit of the game last night. My back was killing me. I was the more I talk about my ailments, I sound like an old man. My back was really giving me the blues last night. So I took a thing and put a heating pad on it and laid down. But what I did see was Pickens and Big O showing out. What do you think about their progression? What do you think about their progression with Rush at quarterback versus Justin? What do you think?
My Pickens and Big O. I mean, we could throw Bowers in there too. I mean, I was going to say Bowers is like, he's running things.
Bowers doesn't play for the Steelers though.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Yeah, Pickens and Big O do. So that's why I was going with that. So
what do you think
about their potential progression in Pittsburgh with Russ versus with Justin?
I don't know. I mean, I have a. That's why you should bring that up actually, because there was a guy that I was working. Got a guy on the phone. I was working, and he was a Pittsburgh fan, and I mentioned that I was a Georgia fan or whatever. And he was none too pleased with Pickens' play. So I have to be quite honest that I haven't really paid too much attention to them and Pittsburgh and the NFL really. But yeah, I don't know. I was asking him, like, he was being lackadaisical. Like, I mean, he was trying to tell me that he wasn't, like, didn't seem like he would, for lack of a better word, cared. I mean, do you see that? I mean, like, what would be your?
The biggest thing with Pickens is always. I mean, Pickens was like that when he was in school. I'm not so much talking about his motivational skills. I think I'm just more so talking about the potential for greatness there in terms of which quarterback they're working with. Because Russ, I hadn't seen Justin play at all this season, but I'm looking at Russ. I'm seeing Russ throwing the ball behind receivers or way ahead of them or overthrowing them. And I mean, apparently he got it together because when I woke up, I saw that the Steelers had won. But like, what do you think is how do you think this is going to affect their career progression now that Tomlin has said that's our guy? And I know it's not. I know we're not talking about the Dogs per se for those of you that are watching, but I chose that particular topic.
I can't really give you much because I haven't seen it. But I mean, I would like to. Well, Tomlin has said that Russ is the guy, or he said that Pickens. Okay, Russ.
He said Russ is the guy.
Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, Russell, he's been that way, for a minute now. Like, so I don't his progression, I guess. I mean, it would contend on Russ's passing. Like you said, it was over. I mean, I'd have to look more into it to give you a good, honest answer. But because I haven't seen it that much. But
yeah, I saw. One thing I saw last night that I didn't always see in Pickens at Georgia is that he seemed to be putting more effort into running his routes. And
that's good.
I mean, and Big O is still Big O. He's still doing his thing. He's still trying to jump over people, although he looks like he's beefed up some. I don't know how he's getting all that weight off the ground. I think he needs that's one thing I think he needs to stop trying to do. He's gonna give himself a hamstring unintentionally.
Right.
But I not having really seen them play, I honestly I'm kind of the opinion that I've seen a lot of on social media that Justin was probably the better pick for
Yeah.
quarterback, but there's a reason that they put Russ out there, and that reason is Russ is not afraid to take the chance of putting the ball out there, and that's something that they say that Justin is afraid of. So that's
Yeah.
it. I'm sorry, y'all. I came up with the dumbest topic for final thoughts today, and
Well, I'm
it's
gonna
all
go
right.
back. I'm gonna cut you off. You said about the back thing. This is kind of a funny story, real quick. So my pops was here, and so my dryer over here in the basement here started squeaking. So the belt started squeaking when you had it going on. It kind of looks like a little bird or something, like a mouse or something. Just little subtle squeak, little squeak, little squeak. And the clothes kept going, got louder and louder and louder, and unbearable. So my pops had fixed it before. So basically, you just pull the drum out, you put some, the belt was fine, but you put some WD-40 on the wheels and everything. But talking about getting on the ground, I had to get on the ground and look underneath there, trying to pop it out. Man, my back the next day. That's when you know. I was like, I didn't do nothing. Like, I mean, really, in retrospect, and in the grand scheme of things, I didn't do nothing but lay on the floor and kind of hold the flashlight and kind of put my arm in there. But that was enough to hurt my back the next day. I couldn't even walk. I was just like, man, what is wrong with you? You need to get some exercise, dog.
Yeah, for real. It took till about 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon for my back to stop.
Because we went to the grocery store later on, and Daddy was like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Man, my back is hurting." He said, "Think about when I was doing it by my pops. My pops is 70. He was on the ground. He did it by himself. So he was down there, and he comes here. He makes himself busy, and yeah, that's a cut the grass, do what I mean, all that stuff. He does that at home. So I mean, he always said, when he retired, he's going to take naps and cut grass, and he's made true. He's made good on all that. He's made good on that, because that time is definitely about 1:30. He's in the chair asleep.
Man, that's nuts. So it's always good to hear stories about moms and pops, man.
Oh yeah, dude. Never a dull moment. And uneventful on the craziness, but never a dull moment.
Yeah, absolutely. This seems like a perfect place to shut it down right here. UGA football, this particular episode. Well, we nothing more special about this episode than any other, but we appreciate you guys, myself and my man Colin P from the DMV. We'll be back next week. We're just gonna probably do a full show devoted to 3/4 of the show will be devoted to the Georgia-Florida game and what we think, and some things in days past. And we'll give our predictions for the game, and we'll go around the horn. So we do appreciate you. You guys do us a favor. If you like the show, give it a like. If give it a share. Share it with some of your friends, especially if you got fellow dog fans or even people that are just SEC football fans that love seeing other people talk about SEC football. No team in particular. Let them know.
Yeah, we'd love to have people. We'd love to have people in the chat. Any team, give us your 2 cents. And what do you, we'd love to have more, people in the chat.
Oh yeah, 100%. And we appreciate our guy Kevin Morrow for stopping through. Definitely did. Yeah, bro, you definitely did let us know that was coming. And doggone it, you were right. So we're gonna get out of here for now. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening in the Monday Night Football. We will catch up with you later. On behalf of myself and Colin P from the DMV, we sign off as we do each and every week. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.